good afternoon. Welcome back for another live. This is my last live for this series. And today, this afternoon, I've got Amee Triscari joining me. So I'm just waiting for her to pop up on here. Amee calls herself the Pinterest whisperer, but also lots of people I know in Perth particularly know Amee as that awesome woman who says the F word quite a bit and she's just requested to join, and also someone who's just really true to herself and her values. So I thought she was a really cool person to have on to have a chat with.
Hi!
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good. I was faffing around there. I'm trying to get not crazy light going on because there's different stuff happening.
Yeah, it's hard, right? You need to be near the window but not too close, and the light can't be shining quite directly on you. It's a fucking art form, isn't it?
Well, you look good. You look like you've just come from the beach or something. What's been happening?
Actually, I have. We spent the last 2 hours just sitting in the grass, on the grass at the beach. Yeah, it was really good. We braved the shops. And then just before I jumped on, Havana got into all my essential oils, and I was like, oh my God, not right now. So yes. So I have a beer and everything's okay again.
Oh yes, I need to open mine. Cheers. I just next to my husband. So yeah, thanks for agreeing to do this. I was just I was doing a little intro for you before we popped on about who you are. So you're the Pinterest whisperer, the Pinterest queen of Australia, and also and Juicy Creative Co.
Yeah.
Tell me about what's that kind of co.
It's quite funny actually, because when I first started Juicy, I was in a bit of turmoil. I was like, do I come on and just Amee Triscari the shit out of it and just call it Amee Triscari? Or do I go under a name? But my entire life, I've had to spell out my first name and my last name in its entirety. So I was like, I can't come as Amee Triscari. No one's going to know who I am. No one's going to be able to find me because no one's going to know how to spell it. So I went under Juicy because I was like, before I started being known as a Pinterest whisperer, my thing that I've always been amazing at is literally squeezing ideas out of people and then showing them how to monetize them or turn it into something. So I was like, the juice, getting to the juice of it. And that's where Juicy came from. But I'm actually about to fuck it off and go to Amee Triscari next month, which I'm very excited about.
I saw that with your decision. I posted the other day, didn't I? You're one decision away from a completely new life.
Yes!
Out of my head.
I think that was my final little shove that I needed, because I've been thinking about it for quite a while. Then I was like, but I don't have tens of thousands of followers, and I felt like such a wanker going from Juicy to Amee Triscari. I'm basically a big deal now, and it's not about that. It's just that I feel like being called Juicy now is quite restrictive. I feel like there's so much more that I want to talk about, and that. But just from what people are interested in hearing about, but while I'm under the Juicy umbrella, I feel like I can't. So I was like, all right, what if I just fucking got rid of it?
Yeah. And I was just reflecting on that before coming on about, your message to your followers is always about being authentic, and that's something that I've kind of had to do, over the last 6 months really, since I've been doing more of it, building doing training and stuff, just having to put me out there, and it's challenging and it's quite uncomfortable sometimes. I'm so lucky that a lot of my followers are friends or people that support me, and so they're just like, yeah, you're awesome, but that is an absolute constant drive to give more weight to the negative activity. That from training that's 6 out of 10. Oh my God, they hated it. It doesn't matter. They just didn't love it, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's not even just they didn't love it. It's did they see it? What kind of fucking mind frame when they were in when they did see it? Were they actually reading it or paying attention, or were they just mindlessly scrolling because they're super fucking distracted, or are they actually watching Netflix? Or do you know what I mean? There's so much more that goes on, and I think that we're quite I'm going to say arrogant probably is the right word, in the sense that we actually think people give a fuck about anything that we're doing or saying, when really everyone's like, oh my God, what does everyone else think about me?
Yeah. I love there's like a little meme thing from a while ago that's like, in your 20s and in your teens, you're obsessed with what other people think about you all the time. And then as you get older, you realise they're not bothered, and they realise that like they're just worrying about their own stuff anyway. And it almost takes a bit of maturity to go up that scale. We go, yeah, actually, people don't give a fuck. Doing their own thing.
Yes,
I'm more than I'm talking to you. It's hilarious.
Yes. Oh my God, have you read Untamed by Glennon Doyle yet?
No, but I think I've seen you recommend.
Yeah, like you fucking have to, because you do. Everyone does. It's amazing. She talks about it and like in the stages, and then she's like, and it's my 40s, and now I just could not give a fuck. Like I don't even care enough to read what they fucking think. She's like, I just don't care. And I was like, yes, Glennon, yes.
And do you know what? Like where I live, arrogantly would say you've probably seen my post, but where I live is a real intergenerational community. I've got a lot of neighbours in their 90s, a lot of women who are older in life, and they say to me, once you get a woman, people just don't know you, which I was heartbroken by. And then I'm like, and then she said, but it's great. You can do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter.
I have this like, yes, one of my friends and I don't know how PG you want to keep this, but we have this like retirement plan of growing old together and just doing all of the shit that would be completely unacceptable. Like we'll probably just go like try heroin, we'll go like become drug dealers and all the shit that like you would never fly when you're younger, but when you're like 80, no one's going to give a shit, just to say you've done it before you died. I was like, this is going to be the best retirement plan ever.
Well, it's like get a little village similar to my little complex and put everyone together that wants to do that. And
it'll just be like a raging party and no one will give a shit, just living your best life because you're in your 80s and no one's paying attention to you.
I love this. I think Mish, is it Mish? Me?
Mish.
All these comments pop up, you're like, oh gosh, yeah, people are watching.
I think I've told Mish my retirement plan before. She's well versed in it.
So I did send you some questions. So I'm a bit like, oh, we could just have a chat. But yeah, so a lot of what I do is about helping people to think clearly. And I was thinking, I know your situation, you're at home in Havana and stuff, and you're very open about your back of house, what things are like today. So I feel like I almost know the answer to the question, but how do you keep maintaining clear thinking, a bit of sanity over that week? Really full on.
It's been really full on, and mainly because, like, if you think I'm an extrovert, you should fucking meet Havana. She is, like, next level. If I used to be a running joke because when Brooke had her social club membership parties, she would always be, like, super accommodating of Havana because she knew that if I didn't bring her, I couldn't come. I wouldn't see her. She'd just go and work the fucking room and come back, and then that's how I'd network. They'd be like, oh, whose kid's this? I'm like, mine. Just keep her away from the booze. She's fine. So it's been really hard dealing with her emotions as well. Not so much like in each other's face, although that's really annoying as well, but it's just having to deal with her emotions around it and trying to understand like the complexity of it all to a fucking 4-year-old has been probably the hardest challenge. What I actually did before all of this happened is at the end of last year, I had some massive growth in my business and I hit some huge blocks like internally, and I went and got a coach. Like she's called a self-worth alchemist. I don't know, like I couldn't tell you exactly what she fucking does, but she's magic. So, hang on. Yeah. No. Bye. I want chocolate. So what had happened is because I've always operated from a like go, 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 go mentality my entire fucking life, she kind of was like, right, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to interrupt that. And this is how you're now going to start your day. And she was really good because I was like, would never meditate. Like I couldn't get my brain to slow down enough to do fucking simple breathing exercises. So she actually broke them down into 2-minute ones, 4-minute ones, and then like slowly got them longer and longer. And she's like, before you do anything in the morning, this is your home now. Like, you come here. So I'd already been starting to build these habits up before this happened, which was actually, like, now that you've asked that and looking back, it was like so beneficial for me to have that there. And then I just started, she also said, because I do F45 training and I used to do it first thing in the morning, she's like, I want you to stop. She's like, if you're going to do it later in the day, because I'm starting my day like just like high energy, like the minute I wake up. And it's really hard to explain because I operate like that all the time. My brain never, ever slows down. So I can be completely fucking exhausted, but my brain's still like boom, 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 boom. But what she did, she's like, let's interrupt it and start everything slower. So she's like, I want you to do like a really gentle yoga. She's like, no fucking, nothing hard. She's like, you're not even doing a flow. You're going to do like a really gentle morning sequence. So now, since I started building that up and it's gotten even stronger during this time, I've now got an hour or two in the mornings where I'm actually just dedicating to being calm. And it means that I can handle anything that's thrown at me during the day because of that. And if I feel like I can't, like I'm about to explode or erupt or fly off the handle, I just go back to the breathing. And it's been like, if you had have met me before, you'd be like, I can't fucking believe that's you, or like we're even having this conversation, because I would have laughed in your face. I was like, I don't fucking operate like that. I'm hot energy like all the fucking time. But it means that like I can work more. I'm more productive. I still do struggle a little bit switching in between being a mum and being in work mode, because obviously when I'm in work mode, I'm like, go, 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 next. So I'm still working on that, but just having the breathing, or I stop and can't remember her name. It's like Beck something. She's on Instagram. I mention her a lot. She does these dancing things, like, you know, shake off your energy and stuff. And I was like, so I just started doing that, and that's basically how I fucking managed to get through all this. I know, darling, but you're not having. You can have one after. She can't stop thinking about the chocolate. Yep, after I'm finished.
See, I'm lucky. I have my 2-year-old and my 5-year-old, but the telly's on and there's a policeman between me and the lounge.
She's got the telly on.
Oh, bless. But that's real life, right? That's what it's like, isn't it? I find that really interesting about the starting with the meditation, because I'm someone that I used to exercise in the evenings, and then started doing triathlon, like when we moved to Perth, probably about 9 years ago. And so I very much got into that. I exercise first thing in the morning, or it basically doesn't happen. Like I have to get out at 6. And so it's really cool to hear that you've changed the story around that, because I always use that to not meditate in the morning, because I'm going straight out, and I'm like, well, I could get up 20 minutes earlier, but I'm only getting up at 5:30 to get out. So, you know, just permanently exhausted with them.
Yeah.
So
you are, and and then it becomes another thing that you have to do, doesn't it? Whereas, like, and I very much had that same story going, if I don't in the morning, I won't do it. And if you had said to me before that I'd be training at night, I was like, no, that doesn't work for me. Because I was trying to do it at like 10 o'clock in the morning, but it was too hot, and I was like overheating, and I could be fine now, but at the time. But because I have that commitment, much the same as you probably got that commitment to yourself to train, I like do it. It make like, even though it's 6 o'clock at night, it's the last thing I want to do, but I'm like, no, that's my commitment that I've made to myself. I'm going to do it. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's just so cool. I don't know if you probably didn't catch the other day. I was talking to my in UK, Janie Holiday. And she's also a single mum. She's got twin boys who are, I think, about 12 now, and a daughter who's 4.
Wow.
I know, right? She's absolutely epic. She's amazing. And so I'm in such admiration of her and you for how you work around the kids and try and, because there's so many roles to play, and just as someone who's married with kids, there's still so many roles to play. Modern life, all the demands that are made us crazy, right?
It is. It's crazy, but I don't for a second try to do it all. Like, if I can fucking out something, or if I need help, I'm like straight away on the phone to someone, or I'll even do like a Facebook blast. I'm like, I need Havana gone for 4 hours. Who can fucking help me? Or, and I have a cleaner, and I have where a lot of the time when I'm like in crazy work mode, I just let my friends know and they feed me and they kind of tag team to take care of Havana, or they're like, come over, I'm basically going to like mum you and look after Havana. Like I have an amazing community around me, and it's not for a second am I like really doing it on my own. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got so much help because there's no fucking way in hell I'd be able to do it at all.
Yeah. And that's awesome. Like we're not designed to live in isolation. And so those have been some of the last few weeks. Like, oh, you're not allowed to, I really love just having a play date with the kids. The kids go and entertain each other, and then you can have your chat with your friends and that kind of thing. Because we need people, right? We need people.
We are. I didn't realize how much I needed the park for that as well. Like especially to like go, and because we'd go to the park and I wouldn't see Havana for 2 hours because she'd just go make friends and then like ingrain herself in someone else's fucking family. And now it's like we go there and she's like all over me and I'm like, oh good Lord, go run around on the grass, just get off me.
So we were going to talk about values today, and you talk about being true to your own values. What are your values? Do you have like a list that you refer to, or?
Not really. I guess my number one is that it gets to be fun. Like that I get to have fun all the time. Like I've got like my vision board behind me, and my biggest. And it's so weird that like Kate Moss is my inspiration around this, but she has this like quote where she's like, why the fuck can't I have fun all the time? And that's what I always bring it back to. I'm like, is this fun? Like, is this actually fun? No. Could I pay someone else to do it? Probably. Or why am I making this hard? Or what can I do to make this fun? So it's really that. Like, it's kind of like my values are that it gets to be easy and fun.
Yeah. Something's fun, and if education's made fun, you learn more. If chores, you put music on it, watch out, then it's more enjoyable. Your kids enjoy it, and
like,
you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
Exactly. And usually if it doesn't feel fun or I'm forcing it, it's like I've come up against a massive fucking block, or like I'm getting confronted by something, or because I'm just taking myself too seriously in this moment and therefore making it harder. Whereas if I just step away and fucking remove myself from it, or take some time off, or come back to it when I'm in the mood to, it's easier.
And it's funny, like what you find fun, like triathlon racing fun to me. And you see me on the course, I'm like, yeah, I'm loving this. All the photos, I'm smiling. And there's bits where it's not fun, but then the enjoyment of getting over those and achieving it. Oh, good.
Yes, it is. It's so good.
You like running, you have fun when you go running, and I'm like, yeah, otherwise I wouldn't do it. Like,
I don't look at my face, I'm like, okay.
I love that I've seen you doing your F45 challenges and stuff, like advocating for women and mums to be doing exercise. So important for your energy, for just mental health, all those things. And Jenny's the same. She was a fitness coach, and now she does mindset stuff. But I love seeing the challenges on there. You're sharing that. So good on you.
Okay. Like for me, the whole F45 thing, like whatever version of whatever it is for people, especially single mums, is that you are taking time and making yourself a priority, and that it's non-fucking negotiable. It's not something you negotiate. I don't even negotiate for Havana. Like if she's sick and like can't get out of bed, then I will. But it's like she's like, I don't feel like it. I was like, I don't fucking care. You know that we do this 5 days a week. It's what's happening today. And it was like the minute I started putting myself first, even for that 45 minutes, like everything changed. Everything.
Yeah. And then your message on that is like, once you start with a habit consistently, then you will start to give joy to yourself, right?
Yes.
Message might have been before, like, I don't really exercise, I'm not a sporty person, whatever. Come on, I've done this for 2 weeks, I've done this for a month, I've done this for 6 months.
Yeah.
You see the changes, you think about that, you notice the changes in how you feel empowered. I could change that thing about me, and now maybe I can change something else that I'm not happy with, whatever, your life, right?
Yeah, it does, and it makes like bringing in new habits so much easier because all of a sudden I know myself as someone who's consistent, reliable, and who has non-negotiables. Before, I didn't relate to myself like that at all. Like, I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't that because I didn't prioritize anything enough. But the minute I did, it was like everything fucking changed. Like, everything. Yeah.
And that's when the magic ends up.
It is. It really is. And the other thing, I had to prepare to be able to train in F45. Like, I couldn't just go after having Havana and start fucking doing it because I had a cesarean. I didn't exercise for 3 years. Like, my body was a mess. I had to go and train with my mum, who's a specialist, like, exercise physiologist, to get my body ready to even be able to step foot into an F45. So it was, like, so much fucking commitment and determination just to even get there at the beginning.
Yeah. But then when you're there, like, I'm sure you know, you look at what you do now, and they're like, oh, wow, I could never do that.
Yes.
And you go,
yeah.
Well, can. Anybody can. Like, and yeah. Seeing someone else do it, you know, is so you go, oh, hang on. Because the reason I started running, I used to, when we lived in London, I didn't do any exercise. I didn't do training. I was, like, depressed, stressed off my nut. Life was hard. And we had some lovely friends and stuff, but we all drank way too much. Had fun all the time. We weren't working too quickly, right? We signed up to a half marathon, and I was like, whoa, Becky's doing a half marathon. But yeah, I was like, wow, Becky's doing a half marathon. Wow. And then a couple of other friends started doing it. It was at that point when you're like, oh, maybe I can't do this party. I'm starting to get a bit fat here. So she was doing it, and I, yeah, like, if she can do it, then maybe I can do it. And so I started slowly by myself, doing those, like, you know, programs, like, really, really slowly. And then, you know, a little bit faster, going a little bit further. And then, yeah, for self-esteem and things start picking up. I did that half marathon, and I beat my husband in that one too.
Amazing. But like, how good would that be? Like, there's your fucking validation right there. He's like, look how fit I am. Yes.
Yeah. No medals or anything like that, but to get that achievement under my belt was like,
yes.
Really.
That's amazing.
You just keep building from there and keep doing it. So yeah, it's me like, oh, how do you do that? Oh, that's amazing. I'm like,
actually,
that's just,
I've done it.
It becomes normal, and then you go, right, what's the next challenge? And I know people that have done like Ultraman races and these crazy trail runs that are 100K and stuff. And I know now I could never do that if that can do that, because I know how much hard work and commitment is required being so out there. And at this point, I'm like, I don't want to give that commitment.
I'm like, oh, no.
If you wanted to, but you don't really want to. So, and that's fine. That's what comes down.
Yeah.
So
and not making you feel bad about it, because then it's an empowered decision, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So being true to your values, and we talked a bit about having fun for yourself, that's being a core value. So how do you translate that for your clients and people doing your Pinterest parties and stuff? I guess the fact that they're partying.
Yeah, well, it's actually why I'm not going to like say whose course it was, but I was initially, when I started Juicy, because I was going to manage people, and I knew what to do, but I needed that extra bit of confidence. So I bought a course and it was so fucking boring. Like, it was so boring. I could not get through it. Like $500. I had to get a loan to like pay for this fucking course. And I couldn't sit through it. So I was like, how can I make learning fun? Like, how can I make this fun for people, knowing that they had to grasp this whole new platform that's not like anything they feel comfortable using? So it's like, oh, call the parties. Yeah. Now, obviously, they're not like in person. They're not so much parties. But the common theme that I've noticed, and even in the course, is like, I'm very much like, here, I'm going to show you how to do it to drive traffic towards your product and your content. But here's the thing. I want you to go and have fun creating it first in the bits that I'm teaching you. Because if you, and I've seen this happen with clients, like they've gone from like 400 monthly views to like 21,000 because they started creating content that was fun for them to create. They started talking about it in a way that was fun for them to talk about, doing what they think they needed to do to get views. And like, you can't even fucking argue with stats like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just really encouraging them to get uncomfortable and trust their gut. Like, trust that they know what they're doing and trust that they are fucking in the field and that they can talk about it however the fuck they want. And I did realise, like, when I was running Pinterest parties, that this was a huge fucking block for people. Like, they couldn't wrap their heads around that they got to show up however they wanted and that it would work and that they would still they would probably make more money than they ever had before. So that's why, like, as a spin-off, I created the 3-month program, which is actually like the thing that I love doing the most, because I get to work one-on-one with people in their unique businesses. And really all of that is about getting them to be comfortable and trust and, you know, like, be brave. It takes a lot of fucking courage because, like, it is scary. You're literally putting your heart and soul out there for the world to, like, and it's just getting them to do that and watching them at the beginning where they're like timid and they're not even on their stories and they're really not creating that much. So like at the end where they're like, fucking content for you, and they're having fun creating it and they're like, you know what, Amee, I've never been able to do it because I hate writing. I'm like, well, don't fucking write that. They're like, what? I'm like, make videos. Just do a podcast, like voice. Like, they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, like, that's where I guess like the fun comes into translating to everyone else. Yeah.
I can see so creative. There's so much going on in there, and and what's funny, Juicy Creative Co, how does that fit with your brand? She's, you know, we're quite different in how we approach what we do, but yeah, I think we're both kind of just out there being us and being in different ways. But I love what you said there about getting people to trust their gut. There's a lot of stuff around thinking and different ways of thinking, but I think are disconnected from trusting themselves, essentially.
Yeah.
So much information out there, and, you know, you can look at anybody out there and go, oh, well, they do that, and they do it like that, so they're probably wrong, and I don't know what I'm doing, and stuff, but some stuff I do help people assess that feel to trust themselves, whether it's in parenting, in their business, in their, you know, personal choices, relationship choices. There's a really cute little thing that I'm trying to decide between.
I say that to everyone. I'm like, you know the answer.
Yeah, and even Monday, I was talking to Clayton Molyneux about decision making in business, and he's, you know, he works with startups, a very different context. And like I was on afterwards, like, come on, you know, if I'd flip the coin for you, I said, heads is this, tails is this. It's tails. How do you feel? She went, oh, that I'm relieved because I don't. It's taken out my hands, but also I didn't. I just felt like I should. Going, no, it's what's better for you. Fancy stuff, like it sounds very academic. Actually, that is what is the best option for and how you want your life to be. So
it is. And do you know what? I was probably a little bit worried Well, I was never really into anything remotely 6 months ago. I met this chick, Kate, from the Soul Toolkit on Instagram. And she did. I was already following her, but I didn't realise she was a business name. And her and I had just this wicked banter. Like, she's super sweary like me, very direct, very to the point, very like just says whatever the fuck she thinks. And I'm like, I like you a lot. And I didn't even really talk about what she did. And she's like, yeah, human design. Still didn't think of what it was. Like, it didn't occur to me. Like, I'm going to human design is. I was like, okay, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but go for it. And it still didn't click when she asked for like my birth details and all of that. Still didn't click that it's like astrology. And she's like, right, you're this, and basically just recreated my entire personality. She said one of the ways that you operate, I can't remember what they call it, something with your sacral or whatever. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not that understanding of it. But she's like, basically, you make a decision because your body is, you get a full body response, either yes or a hell no. She said, and then your brain takes over. But your job is to listen to your body response. And I was like, it's really funny you say that, because since I had Havana, I feel like I'm so much more in tune with my gut. And like the times that I haven't listened to it, I was like, oh, I really should have, because it was like setting off all the warning signs. And when she said that to me, it just gave me permission. So I make every fucking decision like that now. And even if they're like ridiculous, sometimes like when I ring Tarim, who I do a lot of work with, she's like, oh God, here we go. Every time that's her response, because she knows I'm going to come up with something outrageous, but they fucking work, man. Like all of the outrageous, crazy stuff that it seems so fast-fetched and ridiculous that I'm literally deciding always works. Like I've had business coaches be like, nah, you should not. And I'm like, I feel like I'm going to.
Yeah, likewise. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I do. I think it would be fun, and if it's my personal values, maybe as a business, it's like a bit confusing for people. Or does it matter? Like,
yes,
it's life, and you do stuff that sets you on fire and that you're excited about.
Yes, but I think that that's the magic right there, because when you're on fire, you're magnetic, and people are more you because like your posture, the way you're talking, your expressions, like people want some of that because they're fucking desperately craving it too. This is the number one thing I say to all my clients. I'm like, if you're not feeling like that, how the fuck do you expect to inspire other people to want to work with you or buy from you or really want anything to do with you?
Yeah. And it's great having Havana that you feel more like that. I've got 2 kids. It's definitely number 2 and coming off the pill and just more in tune with my body, my hormones, my thoughts. A lot of stuff's really for me, and do this.
Yes,
like,
yes. I think, yeah.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, mine's probably more because, like, what I used to do is I was such a party girl. So I would always be out wine drunk and off my face all the time. So all of that, but I just wasn't aware of it because I was not sober most of the time. Then obviously got pregnant and all of a sudden you're fucking stone cold sober all the time. So all of a sudden I started noticing what was going on. Oh, that's what this means. Yeah. Really fucking interesting and powerful.
Yes, definitely. There's a few comments people were like, hello, waving and stuff. Guys that are in there.
Hi, Kayla.
And again, Brian was comments this morning when I was on too. So hi, Brian, if you're still there. I'm conscious of time. This has been so much fun, Amee. I really, hi, Brian. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me.
I love your work. Keep being you do, and no doubt we will catch each other again at some point soon.
For sure.
Have a great evening.
I will. You too. Bye.